Well, the Mule 550 won't drive. So I've already figured out the issue. Let me grab some tools and I'll show you all what's going on. So as I said, it won't drive. So I was told it made a clunk noise and then it wouldn't move. It would move slightly in reverse and would not move drive, and then it wouldn't move in reverse at all. Of course, sneezing. So came over and looked at it, and what I found, this is the differential lock. So if you lock the differential, it moves. And so what I ended up doing was I jacked it up, and with the differential locked, with the thing completely jacked up, I jacked up one side, then jacked up the other side. Actually, didn't jack it up, I used the forklift. If you haven't seen those videos, go check out the Clark Clipper forklift videos. But I used it to lift up because then it could actually hold it. There's a hole in the ball, or the hole in the forks, and I got that on the trailer ball, and kind of lift it up and just put some weight on this side, and it would actually, with the differential locked, it would kind of do a burnout on this tire, you know, holding it and giving it a little throttle. This tire would start turning on these rubber mats. You could come over here and you could free wheel this one. You could just take this and turn it, and it was also wobbly. So let me show you what I found. Now I've already taken the cutter key out, or split pin, whatever you want to call it, because I've had this apart because I needed to look at it. But this was what I found. You see it? The hub is not locked to the axle. This is the axle shaft. The axle shaft is splined. Now there was a cover, little rubber cover over this, so you couldn't see this when it was messing up. Once I pulled that rubber cover off, I was able to see what was going on. But this hub has splines and the axle has splines. They're supposed to lock together. Well, that's not happening anymore. You can see it's got some slop to it as well. So let me take this nut off and I'll show you where our issue is. All right, so first look, it looks like the splines are gone off the axle shaft, but they're actually just filled with just rust. And if you look, there's splines right here on the end where it's seated against here, but there's no splines. They're gone. Completely gone. And there's remnants where you can see where they were, but splines in the hub are gone. Now, these could be worn down some. I'm gonna clean these up. We'll see what they look like. But, you know, this is pretty hard metal here versus, you know, this is just cast. So I think we're gonna be okay. Is it exactly to the, you know, like new? No, but I think it'll be fine. And then if you look at our new hub, or already ordered one, you can see, you know, we have splines. So let's clean this up. I'll show you what it looks like. See, that's kind of what I'm going by right there, is you can see we do still have splines. They're just filled with rust from the hub. And I think what happened here is these are tapered. It's got a slight taper to it. I think what happened is the hub started getting wear in it. And once it started getting wear in it, then the nut was loose. And once the nut was loose, it could, you know, come off of the taper enough that it really had a lot of slop in it, and it just did this until it wore the splines completely off the hub. So let me clean these up. I'll bring you back, show you what we got. All right, a little cleanup work, and I'm gonna zoom y'all in. Well, it's hard to tell, but they look pretty decent. I mean, you can see, you know, I think that's machining marks. So I don't think they're worn really at all. So some pretty hard metal. And I mean, there's nothing there. So all I did is I just ran a screwdriver down the splines, and then I went over it with this little, just kind of went along the splines with that little brush to clean them out. So I may have to let off on the brakes a little bit because this hub's got some wear in it. So I'm gonna do all that, and then we'll test fit. Well, I'm gonna see if it'll fit, and then if I need to back off on the brakes, I will. But we need to test fit the hub, make sure the splines feel good on it, and I'll bring y'all back. All right, got the brakes adjusted. Just a little bit of drag to them, and you can see we've got good spline engagement. So we're gonna put our nut on, or our washer, and then put our nut on. And I'll have to wait to torque this down. I don't know what the torque spec is on it. I'm just gonna put it tight, not impact or anything, just half-inch ratchet, and tighten it up. I'm sure there's a torque spec on it. I don't know what it is, but I'll set y'all up. Y'all can watch me do that on time lapse or something. And then I'm gonna tear down the other side, pull the cotter pin out, and check this nut and make sure it's not loose on the other side. And if it is, we will just tighten it up. We're not pulling the hub on the other side. We'll just tighten the nut up and call that good if it's loose. If it's not loose, we won't do anything other than, I guess, put a new cotter pin in it, because we'll be taking it out. So let me get this. I think I'm gonna put the wheel on it first, and then let it down, and then we'll tighten this up and do all the stuff to it. Differential unlocked. And back working again. So as far as the other side goes, I couldn't get anything else out of it. You know, that nut was still tight. It didn't want to tighten anymore. So I just put a new cotter key back in it and put it back together. I think that side's fine. For whatever reason, this other side just got loose. And once it started getting loose, you know, it just rocked back and forth and just slowly, you know, took those splines and the hub out. And luckily that axle is so hard, it didn't hurt it at all. You know, those splines are still great. So like I said, you can see the machining marks on them. So we got lucky, I guess. Not too bad of a fix. You know, we were thinking maybe transmission or differential or something, you know, could could have been anything. We, you know, took the belt cover off just to make sure the belt was good. And then once all that looked good and we were seeing it turn, that's when I jacked up the rear wheels and found the hub. So all in all, pretty easy fix and pretty cheap fix. That hub was from eBay. It was $80. So not too bad. There's some on Amazon, but I saw a couple on Amazon. They were about $75, $80 as well, but they didn't have the studs for the wheels on there. You know, the lug studs and the lugs, I guess. And so, you know, I didn't want to. I would have had to pound the. Not that it's difficult, but if I, for the same price, if I can get it with the lugs already in there, you know, why go to the hassle of, you know, pressing the old ones out, pressing them back in the new hubs, or pressing new ones in. So I just grabbed the one on eBay with the lugs already on it. So pretty easy, cheap fix. So that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.